Monster Manual 2024 edition. Now, there's been a lot of conversations about things such as the Orcs, the gender neutrality representation, and a lot more. So let's take a peek at some of the topics I think we should discuss. Now, first and foremost, the Orcs are not in the Monster Manual. And that's not really a huge issue to me. And, well, the reason for it is they're humanoids now. They are playable races. So there are no humanoids in the Monster Manual, sort of. There are no drow, no elves, durgar, dwarves, or gnomes. Now, the orcs are a classic monster trope, sure, but as they are now humanoids, that again can be player characters, I guess we have to wait for some type of NPC codex like the one Paizo is releasing. Now, Wizard of the Coast has added in templates such as the Knight, the Tough, Scouts, etc. And these are basically what you add to your humanoids, or more precisely, you take the traits of the humanoid species you want and add them to create your own stat block. Now, this is not nearly as convenient as the ones just printed of the 3 orcs from the 2014, but again, someone will likely do this on the DM's Guild if it hasn't been done so already. Or you know what, just use your 2014 Monster Manual. They're all supposed to be backwards compatible anyway. Now, in previous editions of Dungeons & Dragons, Orc were characterized as savages and tribal, albeit with more like pig snouts and bigger tusks, rather than the normal facial shapes that have been rendered over the past decade or so. There were, of course, those who looked at the game and assumed that the orcs were meant to mock other specific ethnicities in the real world. So Dungeons & Dragons just removing that from the Monster Manual to me is fine. Again, I have no skin in the game. So they are humanoid. And again, there are no humanoids in the 2024 Monster Manual. And remember that, Tolkien had orcs long before Dungeons & Dragons came around. So the stereotypes, they just wanted to remove from the game, from the Monster Manual, and I have no problem with it. Just remember that pretty much every monster now in the Monster Manual is immune to hold person. Damn! At any rate, yes, removing orcs as a monster is odd, but then again, there are other things you need to worry about more in the Monster Manual than that. Now, I have access to the digital version thanks to a friend who still buys them and shares them through his DM's account. I also have a physical copy as my store received our allotment on the 4th of February. We just can't sell them until the 18th. But that doesn't stop me from getting to read over the book. So here's some highlights that I observed from the book. First of all, the artwork is beautiful. It is incredible. I will give Wizard of the Coast that. They did a really great job here, and there appears to be no AI art, so that is a bonus. I do prefer the new stat block layout. I think it's cleaner and easier to understand where saving throws are. Lair actions now just allow monsters to use more of its legendary actions while within its lair instead of a whole set of extra rules that just made monsters even more complex. They had actions on initiative 20 during their turns. This just simplifies a lot more of the monsters. The book is properly alphabetized. No more having to know if a Balor is a fiend or a devil, or that a werewolf is a lycanthrope. Dragons are ordered by their primary names, such as the copper dragon is under C, the red dragon is under R. They have added about 85 never-before-seen monsters using variants of specific ones, such as the vampire or the death knight. It allows the DM to have more options when they can introduce certain of these creatures in their campaigns. Things I am more neutral about. So Wizard of the Coast chose to add in a both male and female version of iconic monsters that normally were one or the other sex, such as an Incubi, a Succubus, Hags, and a few others. Again, this does not bother me, and if you want to run anything as non-traditional versions, so be it. It's your table, your rules, run it as you wish. If harpies are ever only female or satyrs are only ever male, that is your choice at your table. I don't know why people are getting in such a gripe over it. Again, this doesn't affect your gameplay at all. You can do what you want to in your own game. Now, things that struck me as kind of bad or hard to wrap my head around, there was poor editing. They did release a day one errata, which does happen in all publications. Paizo has had to do this as well. But some of the things still haven't been fixed, such as the very poor editing of creatures, such as the Carrion Crawler. So it has a poisoning tentacle ability. It states it is a dex saving throw, and that if you fail, you gain the poison condition. While poisoned, you're also paralyzed. The problem here is when you are paralyzed, you automatically fail dex save. So you are immediately paralyzed for 1 minute, full stop.
We're all gonna die together out here.
I'm fairly certain they meant a con save, but just so if you're aware, as a DM running them, you probably should change it out unless you want to paralyze all of your players for a solid minute.
I'm not dead.
The other thing that really had me wondering what the design process was is initiative. There seems to be kind of no rhyme or reason to when the designers added a proficiency bonus or even doubled the proficiency bonus to some monsters. Some just get their dex. Now at CR 11, challenge rating 11, half the monsters get their proficiency bonus and the rest don't, as just one example I can pull up. If you're creating your own monsters, it's hard to figure out if they should get them or not. The Beholder at CR 13 gets double proficiency and its dex, kicking it to an initiative of plus 12, which is a 10-point jump from 2014. Something seemed to have been shoehorned in, such as making Lizardfolk elementals. Now, this is just a mind-baffling odd choice I don't get. Again, there's no humanoids in the book, so the design team had to do something. But if Bullywugs and Bugbears are Fae, they probably could have done that as well, or made them maybe monstrosities. I just don't get the design choice of an elemental. But again, whatever. You do you, change it if you feel like it needs to be changed. It's really something that each DM is going to have to kind of take a look at and alter until there's an actual official errata, if there is. But I don't know what their design process was for it. Now, they do not have a guide on how to create a monster at all. And to me, this is probably one of the most glaring omissions in the book. I think this would have gone a long way. Instead of just adding in more monsters, I would have rather had less extra monsters and the ability to understand how to build a monster and create a monster to spread out variants for challenge ratings and other things. So I don't really see why there's such an issue with the orcs being gone. I've been playing D&D since 1980. Orcs have always been there. If I want to make orcs the bad guys in my game, I will do that as well. I don't get why it's such a issue for some people online. Again, play the game the way you want to play it. If you want to have orcs in as the bad guys, go right ahead. Nothing is stopping you. Wizards is not going to send the Pinkertons to your house to kick in your door if you decide to put orcs in. You can use the templates like the Toughs or the Knights or the Scouts, the Cultists, all that stuff, and just slot in your orcs. Does it mean more work for you? Absolutely does. If not, just grab the 2014 one. Again, I don't get why people are having such an issue with it, but you can let me know down below in the comments. But that's pretty much it for me today, and I will hopefully see you all in the next video. Remember, if you're enjoying this content and want to see more, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. And leave a comment below if you have opinions on removing the orcs or all the humanoids, as a matter of fact, or have you even read the new Monster Manual? Do you even plan to? Or you know what, just leave your favorite emoji and please hit share to help this video get that infamous YouTube algorithm going. Perhaps join my Patreon or hit my YouTube membership. Both provide exclusive channels in my Discord, among other perks. And in the meantime, in between time, may all your games be full of myth, mirth, and magic. Bye for now.